What are the purchases going to be to start things off? A kit for Daps. He's got the nade as well. You do have armor on Aegis, as well as Rush and XP3, Incinerary, and a Flash for NAF, but on the opposing side, it's just 3 sets of armor, a slight pistol upgrade with a Molotov for JDM, and then Hazed, he's just going to hold the bomb with that armor alone, and JDM's actually going to get the first shot. It's Aegis to go down early, and an additional push from XP3 down into the stairwell. That's going to be followed up from Rush, but unfortunately, he's only able, to pick up 1 individual kill, so over toward A, CLG will head.
Yeah, that's a lot of aggression right on this pistol round, so Daps is left all alone in this bomb site, trying to land some shots, but he's forced back as they swarm, and going to throw out a nade. Not going to do too much. NAF is now rotating over from the B bomb site. It's up to this retake. They do have a kit on a NAF, or on a Daps and a Molotov on NAF, actually.
NAF might have an easy shot here on Cutler, but doesn't land it as he's very low on HP, 21 in fact. And NAF a bit of a missed opportunity as this bomb continues to tick. He does put Hazed, down to low HP as well. As he goes down to 9, that gives Daps a chance for the retake, and he makes no mistake on 2. But they've got to bait this out. He's got the kit. He's going to hold this defuse, but his teammate trying to go for the shot block can't do it. Tarek reaches through him and knocks down Daps in the nick of time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's the thing. He did get that kill. There's a Molotov on the bomb anyway, so that would have been a very tricky situation if he would have been able to stick that through the whole thing. Either way, it's that early aggression from eLevate. They had multiple players push out, peeking up towards Fountain, but it was only one. And he gets taken out. Then they had 1 player individually push down the stairs, and he gets taken out. So very tough situation to be in early on in that pistol round. So nicely done from CLG. No force buy out of eLevate, no armor invested, just the P250s.
And a single flash for Rush. So very conservative here from eLevate. Not overextending early, want to play the long game. And speaking of long, that's where JDM wants to play with the scout. Now, that'll allow the cover fire for Cutler to move forward, but look at Rush's position in the corner. He needs to scout this out immediately and not get caught off guard. First player in Aegis, and he checks it. Well done by Cutler, and he'll actually pick up both kills as a result. I take that back. Hayes stole the second one from him regardless. Tarek will find NAF, and that leaves Daps remaining 1 on 5.
Yeah, not too much to do here, and this is just no deaths out of CLG so far. Tarek should just stay far back at this point. Daps is going to get into that battle, not going to win it. So nicely done from CLG, flawless in that anti-eco. Even getting the plant money at the end.
No, didn't.
No.
You lied.
I know. He's so close.
Tarek, like you said, we had to sit back because of that 2 HP. They didn't want to lose the gun, so I'd rather keep the gun than get just the plant out of that. A couple steps sooner, he might have had both. But either way, a little bit more of actually a buy this time out of eLevate as they go to the P250. CZ75 for Daps.
Well, this time they take those 3 flashbangs they bought and they head over towards B. So they stacked bathrooms last round. They switch it up, but CLG doing the same thing. They're going to head out over towards long. It's just going to be XP3 there to jump over and try and spot. Hayes is going to lead it, though, and he spots the jumping head. So there's the intel for eLevate. No movement so far on their stack at B.
Yes, it's not gone from the B site, but they are definitely favoring back off toward Catwalk. In fact, now they're going to put 2 players in the stairwell. So now we're going to have 4 on A, and CLG needs to read this accordingly.
Oh, they have so much utility. They have 2 Molotovs. They have some HE grenades. They have a lot of options to clear out this bomb site before they have to even take it, to flush the eLevate members out of position. JDM with his scout, just seeing what he can find. It's going to be nothing, and they're just going to they're going to relocate. They're going to head back towards B. Already have FNS clearing out towards T spawn, so he's going to go the long route. 4 members coming downstairs, all Daps. He's in the water. He does find 1, but he can't finish off the kill. Cutler down to 9 HP.
That could have been interesting to see him start that off and give them a bit of a chance with less members to execute as they rotate back. Quick rotation from A to B. Gravity has the favor there, but it's JDM and Hazed with 2 kills to give CLG a big advantage in this round. They do lose 1 player this time, though, so it's not flawless as the last round was. As FNS, he'll drop to XP3. Rush, though, 1 on 4. It's going to go to the gun round next. That's when things get a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, and this is the thing, too, because eLevate hasn't bought armor yet in either of these rounds. So the next round, they're going to have all their utility. They might have the AWP in XP3's hands. They're going to have everything they want. That's the point of not investing into these rounds. The flip side of that is that CLG's lost 1 member so far in these 2 anti-ecos. So they're going to have a pretty solid bank built up.
There it is, the conclusion of the round from JDM. Add it to his stats for the scoreline. But like you said, it's all utilities. Everyone over 5K easily able to buy into this. They don't go for head armor on NAF and Rush. Again, not surprising where they do have the AK, but more interestingly than that, the glass cannon from XP3, and he will be going against JDM's op.
Yeah, and they're pushing up. Aegis and XP3 pushing up in bathrooms, and XP3 is just going to grab an angle.
He's waiting for it. The flash does force him to shuffle just a little bit, make sure he doesn't get caught off by that, and so far no one's crossed over to the party. He's got a support system directly behind him as well.
This is a lot.
Aegis is there, and yeah, there's a lot of movement toward him.
Yeah, no, that was just that's a big A lot of pressure put on Akis. There's XP3 aggressively with the op. Akis calls, they've come upstairs. XP3 peeks it, gets that first pick. Akis is still playing aggressive behind the smoke though, so they haven't fully turtled up. He does spam a little bit through, gets some damage onto FNS.
And the rotation is swift as well because they've now got a player back inside the A site to cover off long. That was actually the interesting aspect to that strategy. Is it worked out because they all came front bathrooms, but there was no one long. There was a chance for CLG to get very close to the A site before anything could have been done about it. That initial pick, though, changes everything, and eLevate just turtle back. JDM, though, good counter pick, so he wins the battle against the glass cannon of XP3. Finesse still trying to find the battle against Akis. He's actually going to instead meet the fate of Rush, has come around and also found a way inside the A side of the defensive perspective, but Hayes just come around from long. He's in behind, he could flank them out. He finds Akis, he's taking damage from over toward the fence, but he gets himself in behind the boxes, and that's 2 quick kills as they left that position entirely neglected, and it works out perfectly for CLG, who now have the man advantage, but the HP's low, and that nade, 1 HP remaining for JDM. The bomb does go down, though, crucially, because they can try and establish some post-plant situations, and Daps is hesitant to move forward. As Nafly starts to burn just a little bit, he'll step away from the flames, but that's going to slow him down as he has to go the long route. And they know that's going to be set up on bathrooms, and so low on HP, Hayes drops just to the shadow of Daps' bullet, not even needing to do much more than that. And Nafly, he'll do the same fate to JDM, but Cutler's the high HP player, and he's the one that's remaining. They're going to go for this defuse. The nade's going to come in. It's 12 HP. He can't even hit it. Naf's going to hold on perfectly and bail out his teammate. Allow Daps to finish the round.
Yeah, very nice retake and very good recovery from Naf and Daps because they didn't leave that long open. That was what Daps rotated over, grabbed that angle to stop Hayes from making that play. He does 90 damage to him.
That's the interesting aspect as well about these two players, is that Daps and Naf were both on that Liquid roster together. So this isn't the first time they've played together despite being late additions to this team.
Yeah, AWP picked back up on a JDM. He's 1-0 in that op duel against XP3. He won it in that round, and Hayes almost, with that pair of entries, almost salvaged CLG the round. Either way, still slow pace. They're still back by the playground, working their way over towards long. No one from eLevate has a presence over there quite yet.
Cutler slowly pushing forward, though, and as is XP3 with the op, needs to be a little bit careful because they're already very close to him, and now we see Cutler's going to go for that jump. In fact, gets on top of the flower pot, and XP3, there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide.
Yeah, nice movement from Cutler. No one on eLevate there to back XP3 up, and he gets taken out. That's a big defender loss. The op is down, too far away to salvage. That forces Akis, who's playing aggressively in the bathroom. He now falls back into the bomb site, so they've lost that map control of bathrooms.
And again, we talked about what that can do, because with the power of the smokes executing on the A side, it allows for quick bomb plants and forces a retake. In fact, on the execution, they don't even need to really get another kill if they can get these smokes in the correct positions. We'll see how aggressively the defense want to play it. Akis has himself up in behind the truck, so he's in position to spam away at that default plant spot. And he's also completely blocked out by the smoke, so they won't see it, but he's just to the right. He's not able to hit the shot, and his teammate Rush has already gone down to Tarek, so bomb gets planted. CLG again in a good spot here, and Akis is already bailing out and going home. If they made the call to save early, it seems as though they have.
Yeah, there's really not too much they can do there. CLG takes that bomb site pretty much for free off the back of that pick onto XP3. The smoke wall comes up. Nothing the eLevate players can do. They get caught off guard by aggression. FNS can hunt a little bit here. They have the money built up. He might be able to cut one player off here. He does, but he can't land the shot. He can't get the kill quite yet. Now he crosses. Now he's free. Now he's got the angle. FNS going to continue to push, but he's looking the wrong way. He's going to get taken out.
Tarek does get Naf, though, just before the end of the round. So CLG answer back after losing the first gun round. Again, that initial pick from XP3 getting so aggressive late to push up, and Cutler's movement, they were already established. They were already pushed past the bathroom connector before XP3 even went for that late peek.
That was a really, really nice play from Cutler. And without the backup there for XP3, that's such a long way to fall back, and he just couldn't get away in time. Really well done. Now that resets the economy. 3 members saving completely. They've upgraded the pistols. They do still have the M4 and the FAMAS, and it's just going to be a bully through monster.
And it's the first time we've seen them go on to B, and it works out perfectly, or does it? Daps managing to get one with the gun, and from the grave, he'll burn Tarek alive. It does mean it's an even trade, but it slows down CLG massively. The rotations are coming in. They're a little bit late, but look at the flank from XP3. Although Cutler is staring at him, and he's going to win that exchange because XP3 thought he could go undetected. He was not.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be, that's a smart play by CLG. They got stopped. That push through monster really got put off by Daps. Those nice 2 kills. So instead of trying to force the issue, they fall back. They get a little bit patient. They just stop. And they punish XP3 on the flank. And now Rush just peeking, trying to get information. Another punish by FNS. So down to a 1-on-3. Akis has the FAMAS and armor, but he's got no nades and he's got no kit.
Akis does have vision and the high ground, though. So dropping down FNS, it's the bomb out of position, but going for the repeak when he's the last alive does allow the round to fall away from him and into CLG's favor.
Yeah, this should be one more save out of eLevate here. But CLG's already at 5, so they're having themselves a really good round.
Force.
They're going to force. So they have no kits whatsoever, or XP3 doesn't have any nades. Rush only has a flashbang, so they're really hurting at the moment. They're going to have to find some duels to win. This is a round that it wouldn't surprise me if they got aggressive, and they are. XP3 leading the way up long. 3 counter-terrorists pushing. Doesn't look like they're going to slow down, and this is where CLG's putting emphasis on their gun rounds. This is going to be a duel.
This is definitely a change of pace, though, from eLevate, and it does initially catch out Cutler, but they're in great positions to go for the trade. That allowed JDM hop shot on Rush and hazed AK onto Akis, but now it's XP3 who's still in that position to pick up a double, so it does turn back down to a 2-on-2. CLG split up as well. Tarek has bomb. He's past XP3, though, and if FNS can sell this hard enough on Nafly, he'll think that with 2 players remaining, they've rotated entirely to B, and that's going to happen. XP3 is rotating. Tarek, thank you very much. He's got a free A site.
Yeah, they've basically switched positions on the map. XP3 is over almost in terrorist spawn, and the bomb's getting planted on A. FNS has just got an easy route to come meet up with them. So nicely done from CLG. 3 players get aggressive, and that leaves that one route through bathrooms wide open for Tarek to just find his mark. So that aggression early on from the defense doesn't pan out for him in the long run.
So XP3, 2 kills in the round. To make a bit of a recovery for the blunder they had out toward long. But unfortunately, he's going to suffice, and
He salvages it off. That's a good find. Hey, here's the thing. We talked about, we've talked about this revolving door of the second best team in North America. It's been CLG at times. It's been Liquid at times. eLevate even had their time a few months ago. During that, they were just known for just, aggression, just constant aggression. They want to push things. They want to take the fight. Even on the defense, it's almost like they played like a terrorist team. And that round, again, you see so many bodies pushing up towards long. And when you devote that much manpower to one push of aggression, it can't get punished that way by CLG. You have to win that trade more convincingly.
So they do have the op for XP3 that we saw him recover, but that's all they're going to work with. Just pistols otherwise. They do go for a CZ on Rush. And CLG again with a slightly different default out of spawn. They're going to go for 2 in the passage down below. That'll allow Cutler to just check all the angles, and then they'll regroup inside bathrooms. So that's one less spot they have to worry about. Meanwhile, FNS, he's doing a good job to take down Akis, and Daps is very low on HP as well. Tarek just will come out and close that off. Cutler finding Rush. It's all happening for CLG.
Well, here's the interesting thing. They saved that, XP3 saved that AWP, and they had 3 pistol players get aggressive. The 3 pistol players for eLevate are the first ones to fall before XP3 can even shoot his op once. So you have that gun, make him the initial point of contact, see if he can get that opening kill for you, see if that can give you some space to work with as a counter-terrorist on that save. Naf does pick up an AK-47, grabs 1 kill. He's just going to fall away. Now they just have to save these weapons. It doesn't seem like there's going to be much of a chase from CLG. JDM just holding the flank. Hayes and Cutler just making sure that no one tries to go for this plant late in the timer.
So slow end to this round. Fairly straightforward pace to the entire match, in fact.
Well, this is a really cool CLG what they're doing, how passively they're playing it, very patiently. Oh, Cutler, nice shot at XP3. Not even a chance for a response. That's a guy we really didn't get to talk about, in the pregame. We talked a lot about Tarek, a little bit about JDM, but Cutler's, in my opinion, one of the more solid players on the CLG roster. He's always doing well for them, making the fundamental plays. Extremely, extremely effective.
It's kind of the Bondic or the Cajun B, where you can rely on him.
Back to TSM.
I went with flip side first, okay? Just to appease you. The things I do for you, Moses, and no appreciation. My God.
Yeah, look at this aggression downstairs. Once again, eLevate trying to take the early fights, trying to establish map control as counter-terrorists. That's going to force CLG back. CLG doesn't even take that fight. It got mollied, it got smoked off, so they just back away, and they're going to rotate all the way around back into this long hit. XP3's holding the angle with his AWP. Can JDM win it again?
The issue with that is that they don't clear out stairwell this time, but interestingly enough, eLevate don't read this correctly, so they won't actually try and take the fight at the top of bathrooms with the stairwell in play, because they would have had a pinch set up with XP3 at long. So rather, it's entirely passive, and CLG, the interesting aspect of this is they already came from one angle inside these stairwells, didn't spot them. Going back in, there's only one way they could have rotated out of that, and that's toward B, so now it's going to be an A approach.
Yeah, even though the eLevate defense went more passive, it's eaten a lot of time off the clock. 45 seconds left for CLG. They have control of bathrooms, but they haven't moved up quite yet.
And it's decision time.
Yeah,
because rotation site to site through that stairwell is, I think, something like 25 seconds to a plant spot. That might be a bit much, but it's in that range, so Wherever they decide right now will be the execution. Smoke back toward bank. This might be covered, and with 8 seconds, it's potentially going to be planted. In fact, it will, with just enough time as Cutler comes around from behind. Perfect lurk play from him into the stairwell, and thanks for 2, it's left to rush.
Yeah, such a good play from Cutler. Unbelievable, timing that very, very well and just assassinating the rotations before they can have anything happen to him. So eLevate is just getting outplayed across the map, and you can see it. They know it. Tactical timeout for them at down 1-8.
Yeah, tactical timeout right now. I do think 9-6, 8-7 is more where this map is starting to end up with the changes on A side. I know I said it was CT side at the favor at the start, but to be at 1 with 8 already gone against you is a major problem.
Well, now they're in the situation where they kind of have to buy out just every round because they don't have the rounds. In CLG, they're doing a fantastic job. There's been a lot of aggression from eLevate, and they're doing a great job of neutralizing it, and on top of that, even punishing it more often than not.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. We saw them double push long. They got the trades that were sufficient. XP3 managed to pull 2 back, but then the play got away from him because he over-rotates. Or, to be fair, it was anyone would have made that decision. He just happened to let Tarek slip through.
Well, that's the thing. They're punishing it even if they're not getting the kills or the trades are coming out even for both teams. They're really using the map control that those kind of aggressive pushes afford CLG, and they're making the right calls from there.
It's perfect read in terms of that. You're dead right. The map control is the name of the game and the word. I mean, we saw them there. They didn't even bother to take the fight lower because they didn't want to have to take trades that soon or potentially lose members of the team. So what do? They get more passive. They come at it from a different angle, evaluate it entirely, and then say, all right, we figured out where they've gone because they didn't rotate up the stairs. They could have only gone back toward B, and then they execute accordingly.
Yeah, and it's looking very good. This is a CLG. This might be. I mean, this looks very different from the FNS calling CLG. So this makes me think that it is Cutler still doing the calling for the squad.
And how much growing pains is there for eLevate with this lineup now that I think this is their first, if not second, LAN with this full lineup, this new lineup?
I believe it's their first.
Yeah, it is their first. So how much growing pain is affecting them potentially?
Well, it would look to be like a lot, wouldn't it?
Okay. All right. I was giving you a chance to be super methodical.
Well, here's the thing: they have a new in-game leader, but they're not. I mean, they're getting tactically outplayed, but it's just off the back of so much aggression that's coming out. And now that they're so far behind, their economy isn't strong enough to support. I mean, look at this: they have a CZ, they have 2 FAMASes, they have 2 kits, but there's really light nades on XP3 and Rush who have those FAMASes. So even on Aegis only has 1 flashbang. So CLG, they have a lot of options available to him. And once again, 3 players push long. XP3, he's pushed up in bathrooms, but he's alone. They're going to force him back. Aegis looks like he has a little bit of a crossfire set up, but FNS and Cutler leading the way.
The stack, though, is going to work out with 4 players over on A because B, lonely and held by Daps, doesn't even have any pressure put on it. So eLevate, they find the first 2, but there it is. They get punished again. Tarek picking up 1, Finesse right back into the second, and it's an even situation. Daps is going for this aggressive play, though, getting more information at B. As he was left alone, he's pushed his way at least inside water, and jumping up, he'll spot 1 player rotating back over. That's JDM, who tries to go for a luck shot through the wall. But this indicates to his teammates that surely they are still on A and acting accordingly. It's XP3 to take 2, plus the bomb almost gets caught switching weapons as he gets that AK and closes out the round. Well done, eLevate.
Yeah, well done, XP3. Coming up huge there. I mean, just you said it, that stack of 4 players in bathrooms could have gone much better for him. They get the initial 2 kills, and it's immediately traded off by CLG. Either way, XP3 bails them out with the 3 last kills of the round. Now they switch into a double op setup. They're able to salvage one, so they don't have to spend too much money on it.
And they go to a double op, so Naf.
Yep. Naf and XP3.
XP3, exactly. And XP3 back to long where he's been the whole time. Naf is heading over toward B. They're a little bit late getting there, Daps, but luckily against CLG, they're heading toward A. A lot of pressure they're putting on A right now.
Yeah, they're going to try and bust this stack up. 1 player rush at the tree. He's just biding his time. There he spots one moving up. He swings out wide. XP3 finishes it. Rush can't get that kill quite yet. Still hasn't dropped one, and JDM trades him off through the tree. There's Aegis, though, taking out Tarek. He was aggressive towards bathrooms. Now he's heading into the stairwell, and he can grab this angle. Now it's a crossfire. FNS might not know he's there, but he does. Nice shot from FNS.
Well placed indeed. As XP3 now forced to fall back inside the site. Daps has rotated over from B to give him some company, but that also gives the option here for CLG to still head over toward that B site. 55 seconds. More than enough time to do that. But it's XP3 again coming in late in the round to get a kill that evens things back up. In fact, take that back, it gives them the advantage, and he's going to get more than that as FNS goes back to grab that bomb. As they finally make the decision to go, finally XP3 will die to Hazed, but he's left alone 1-on-2. They are split up though, so it's essentially 2 1-on-1s. All Daps needs to do is stay efficient, don't overcommit right now, and allow his teammate to get in position, which has now happened, but the flash works out perfectly. Naf's still there. Yeah,
good thing that Naf was there to trade that kill. Hazed almost makes a hero play. He had some time on the clock to go back and get that bomb, but eLevate, that 3-on-1 turns into a 1-on-1 pretty quickly, so they give up the AWP. Now they can't do that double op setup. They're back to just the one. It's on NAF right now. It looks like it's going to stay that way. So XP3 does pick up the FAMAS there at the end. Akis is pushing up. Looks like they want to do a boost. But Tarek's going to lead his way towards the door.
That boost is risky, because if you don't hit the first shot, there's very little escape from it.
And there's a lot of different looks that CLG's given us on this terror side, how they're establishing the early portion of the rounds, coming either, you know, a lot of bodies going towards long, or coming up these stairs with a couple with the players at Playground playing very passively initially.
So flash over from XP3. Slows them a little bit. Not much they can do with the smoke out to try and act on top of that, but they'll just buy themselves some space. That'll allow XP3 actually to get back in the corner inside the bathroom. As Cutler, not quite so swift on his feet this time, fumbles the jump.
He did it when he needed to. That's all that matters.
That's true. It was fancy at the time. And Tarek's just waiting for the right moment at this point to push through. Look at the presence still from Akis and XP3. In fact, XP3 getting more aggressive. We've talked about how they've been paid the price for this aggression. They've been absolutely obliterated for it. They do get the first one. Akis, though, that's a big kill. This time the trades don't fall away from eLevate. They recover nicely, and Akis dropping the bomb has now secured the front side of the bathrooms. They just need to worry about long A. That's where Hazed is coming from, but Rush, he's got that information. He's got the first kill. Still has to worry about Cutler yet, but he's got two teammates on the map to help him out in doing that, and Daps is going to be the first to find it. Yeah,
this is kind of the difference. Now this aggression from eLevate, they're winning these battles and not losing the trades afterwards. So Akis there comes up with those two huge kills all on his own once XP3 falls. And while CLG managed it really, really well the early portions of this half, it's kind of slipped away from them. Now their economy is shot. Now they have to just use the Tech 9s, P250s. They have one flashbang onto FNS. Going to try and get this bomb planted.
So just as quickly as that, after the tactical timeout, it's been 3 straight rounds, things working much better. So whatever eLevate talked about definitely paid off, because they've now broken the economy. They'll realize now the pistols are all grouped up and coming very quickly toward this B site. In fact, looking for some additional damage through the plywood.
Yeah, but they're going to get forced back. They know they've been beaten there. So you can see them. They're already coming back towards Terra spawn, relocating over towards A. And eLevate's already turtled up into the bomb site. They have a couple Molotovs to use as well. If they start feeling pressure, they can just drop one in the plant zone.
And there's no smoke either to go against that, to extinguish it and allow a plant immediately. So there's no counter to the play.
Yeah, if CLG's able to get a plant here, that would be a massive win. It just seems it's all the odds are against them to even get that plant, even get close to entering into the bomb site. And once again, I mean, they just feel they didn't even really scout anything out. They just decided against going in towards A. There's 3 members from eLevate rotated over, and they're going to come back towards B. So now they have to do this. 30 seconds left. They're running through a smoke. Cutler's leading the way. Daps is going to start spraying him down. Naf comes up from Monster, and he eliminates 2. So not even a whiff of getting a plant down for CLG that round. FNS the last one left.
Nap's already staring him down, waiting his arrival. The P2000 will be sufficient to get the kill. It's going to be 5 rounds now for eLevate, 4 unanswered. So CLG is starting to get that lost round bonus accumulating for them, but they'll buy into this one and be fairly broke afterwards. Need to get a bomb plant ultimately here to really, I mean, if they don't win the round, to salvage being able to buy in the next one.
Yeah, I mean, this is at a point, though, where CLG already has the rounds that they'd love to have on this half. It's just they crushed eLevate at the beginning, and now that eLevate's finally stabilized, you're stringing some rounds together here. Here's that 3-man aggression once more out towards long. Rush, Akis, and XP3 pushing up. But CLG, they're not doing that 4-man stack. They're doing, have Cutler lead the way up these stairs, so he's going to clear that out first. And XP3 is just going to keep getting aggressive, but he doesn't know that JDM's just holding that angle.
Interestingly enough, they're going to keep those 3 players out there and not fall back inside the bathroom. So Dap's done that. He might have caught Tarek heading back in with the bomb.
That's too much. Cutler. That's too much aggression for XP3 in my opinion. You can set up a stack out towards long, but going that far, and now Akis is still staying there as well. He's going to try and equalize, try and spread on a couple if they fail to check this corner.
They need to get a flash in from Rush to allow him to get that first shot, because they check it and he misses on the shoulder peak, so that allows Hayes to pop back out, get that kill quite easily with the AK, and it's Rush left alone on A for now, but he's got 2 teammates quickly on their way to help relieve the pressure. As Daps is the first to arrive, and Naf's actually still just hanging out on catwalk in case CLG elect to go back the other direction, because there is enough time to do so, but all of the utilities now pour in on top of the site. And Tarek, he's looking for some vision to find this entry. He's got the bomb. He's actually going to go for the corner plant, so not in the default spot right now. As Nafly gets one with the nade, that brings it back slightly more favorable here for eLevate, but still that's going to evaporate again as JDM funding Rush. Leaves Daps in behind the truck. And Naf's still looking for another angle as FNS comes in from behind. It's Naf very, very confused and helpless in the situation, but still finding the first shot on Cutler. What is your sensitivity, Naf, as you snap around so quickly, but he's just going to bail out at this point.
Yeah, he should get hunted down here. There's no way they should let him save this. FNS had a great flank, and that's the thing. Yep, and he does get it in the end. Tarek takes out Naf, so they're not going to save the AWP. And that's the thing. CLG, with those early picks, they were in a 5-on-3, so FNS actually trusts his teammates to be able to take over that bomb site, to be able to get the plant down. He aborts, he leaves them in the middle of that execution, runs all the way from the top of the stairs through B just to get that flank, and it comes up huge for him. In the middle of that retake, he dashes all hopes of eLevate to retake that bomb site. So 9-5 now, good play out of CLG.
And it's going to be op versus op again this time as XP3. He's out toward long, but he's in a much more passive position than where he just went to. So we'll see if this can pay off for him. As he flashes himself over, he is going to have a presence out that direction very shortly. And in fact, it's Hayes that's already arrived and already gone. XP3 looking for, oh, that's unfortunate.
Well, it's actually kind of good because re-peeking that, no reason to give it back. Naf with the double op setup. We saw it earlier. He grabs one more. There's Akis chiming in as well. This round's all eLevate, 5-on-2. Bomb is still dropped very far back. FNS is going to try and find something on Daps. He's going to take this duel, but JDM's just hanging out over towards long right now.
And meanwhile, there is alert going on from FNS to try and pull eLevate. Like you said, that bomb way back, though, so they'll head back to grab that with, by the time they get it, about 40 seconds left to make a decision.
Yeah, and it's, what do you do from here? You got to go for it. It's the last round, so JDM's trying to find anyone being aggressive. Akis is actually pushing. Is JDM going to clear everything? He is, but he misses the shot. He's brought down. FNS comes in to bail him out. Another missed shot at a JDM. That allows Akis to take out FNS.
And well done by Akis to also hit that second shot on FNS because that was the re-angle. He was initially looking to just slide out with the distraction, FNS, and he went down as a result. Akis finishes it up. So good round from him, picking up the hat trick, closing it out 9-6. Decent recovery from eLevate, considering it was 8-1. And after that tactical timeout, they picked up 5 rounds and then the 6th there.
Yeah, but was it too little too late? I think
well,
it was.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think CLG definitely has a great hold on this match right now.
Yeah, I would say too little too late is the way to put it, but at the very least, it showed that whatever they talked about worked. They had some sort of a plan to go forward with. We'll see if they can recover it. It's their turn to execute. They have Daps strat calling for them now again. First land, growing pains for sure, and Daps was put in a little bit of a pressure situation when he was strat calling for Liquid because Adren came in. They were kind of sharing the role. Daps' fragging potential went down. He's now solely in control of the reins here. We'll see what he can do to recover this situation because they definitely have a hole to dig.
Yeah, to dig out of.
Dig out of.
Yes.
To climb out of.
Sure.
To get a ladder. Throw them a ladder, Moses.
Well, here's the thing. They're going to need Naf to step it up. So much firepower on him. He was great with Luminosity last season. Just a guy who can find the kills, and they need him to have some good entries. They need him to create the openings for eLevate on the Terra side. They're going to have to get out to a hot start. They cannot come out to a slow start in the second half if they want to make a comeback. And
I'm actually really interested as well to see from CLG. We're going to bring up some replays just while we wait for this half to get underway, and this goes all the way back to the pistol. Now, Fly, I was surprised he missed that initial shot on the entry, but it still worked out because Daps made up for it, working wonders, and then they very nearly had the defuse here as well. Yeah, I think this Molotov actually came out too late. I think he would have actually gotten it. There it goes, but yeah, either way, he gets taken out by... Well, we were at 3 before we switched, and there was another second. So that was a 4-second hold. Yep. 1 more second done. But I'm very interested to see what CLG is going to do now with their aggression on the defense. Because we've seen, obviously we saw what XP3 tried to do, we saw what eLevate tried to do, but we've seen Tarek be a menace on this map when he's got his aim on, and we've also seen JDM be a monster out toward long as well. Right, and well, here's the thing about the thing about eLevate, they didn't stop that aggression. Even when they were getting beat up on it, even when they were down 1-8, they still kept up that aggressive playstyle, and it eventually got them those rounds when it was more successful. But CLG's not going to be that aggressive. They're going to push out towards bathroom, but they're not going to be quite as, you know. I would almost say not as careless. That would almost be the word I put on it, just because it was over aggressive at a lot of times there from eLevate. I think you're right. They'll establish their map control. They'll get into the choke points they need to, and they won't overreach. I think CLG is going to be a little more calculated on that, based on how I've seen them play in the past. So I get entirely what you're saying on that, and I fully agree with that. We do have a disconnect from one player. That's what we're waiting on right now, though. So just to give you guys an update, we will be live again in a second. Pistol round, obviously we saw eLevate favoring A side a lot We only saw, I think, 1B execute
well, that's
that
the thing.
entire time.
Well, that pistol round from eLevate on the CT side was just as aggressive as all their gun rounds. Once again, it was just everyone forward, everyone find a fight to take, you know, very, very initially, try and win it and just fall away, and they lost all of them. And that was kind of the story the first 9 rounds of that half for him. The thing with eLevate as well, I don't think they're going to be as slow-paced and calculated as CLG seemed to be in that first half. They're going to be more, you know, take that fight, win it or lose it, but let's find a bomb site to hit and let's see what we can find. Especially with the new in-game leader.
Remember the complexion of this whole group as well, because we're saying anyone can beat anyone, but obviously there can only be one victor. This is such a redundancy, but the point is they're going to make this is the hard way to go now for the loser of this game, to go to the lower bracket and fight all the way out, when it's not like the disparity in the first group that we saw. When you've got Noble in the lower, you know, Noble put up decent numbers against Tempo in that last game, played reasonably well, respectably well, but you don't have that luxury of going down to the lower bracket and saying, we'll be fine, we'll at least get into another matchup here. This is all to fight for. There's a high pressure situation, more so in this group, if they drop down immediately. And keep in mind, CLG obviously did a great way to start here. They've done well against the Europeans lately, like you've been saying, but eLevate need to get back to the form that they had, and this is going to be discouraging for them if that's the situation, that if they drop down that quickly. Well,
you got to think you're playing either against the ex-Luminosity lineup who made it to the Pro League Finals, and you're playing against Nihilum, who is pretty much battling for that same spot with them. No slouch on that team. Semphis and Hiko in there as well. They have some firepower of their own. Desi's there now as well. There's a lot of hard hitters on that team, and you definitely don't want to be playing them in a lower bracket matchup to get eliminated. But this is the thing, too, because Akis actually, one of the funny things, he comes from, you know, all the CLG guys when they were mouse spaz within the past few seasons, they've talked about this 10-man mumble that they have with all these players that have come in, like Sanks was in there, I believe, and now Akis is part of that school. So coming up, I mean, the CLG guys, that's
school. I like it.
They have like this whole like farm system that they're just building players out of these 10-mans.
Yeah, because Akis is definitely the later addition, who, of all the players in terms of experience, is the least experienced right now on that roster. But held his own. I thought he had a couple good rounds there, specifically at 3K to close things out. Definitely looked composed. Didn't over-aggress too much, although he was caught out a few times on A, but the whole team was really in a lot of those situations. Yeah,
that's just the style that eLevate brings. Yeah. They want to be that aggressive. They want to rely on those individual aggressive plays, catch some people off guard, see what they can do from there. But they just got punished for it by CLG. I mean, that first half was more to me about CLG looking much more polished on their T side than we see from them more often than not.
And then, of course, that is Akis closest to the screen. For those of you who aren't aware, and it's Daps in the middle, Strat calling for them now. It's good to see him back in a comfortable position, because he's fairly knowledgeable. Again, it's another one of those in-game leaders in North America who, when you talk to him, definitely understands the game but doesn't always translate it as well. So we'll see how things work out with this eLevate roster, and like you said, it's going to be a test right away when we get into this next half.
I mean, that's one thing we can talk about right now is that op duel between XP3 since he's taken over the mantle of full-time op for him now that he's not in-game leading. Him and JDM went at it. I mean, they seem to come out pretty even there towards the end of the match, but I think JDM being dominant in that duel early on in the half.
And the T side indicates well for the CT side, or should indicate.
Yeah,
well
you'd hope so.
Side. Yeah. Where he doesn't have to be the aggressive peak. I think JDM is...
He doesn't have to be, but he is one of those oppers that likes to peek. He's not an angle-holding opper. He wants to take battles. He's going to peek into some stuff.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I think he's actually... It's weird because Peter was, for a long time, and there was a lot of confusion as to why Peter left this roster. Obviously, a lot of people have found out a lot more about that situation since. But when you thought of CLG after the LDLC game, you obviously thought of Peter because he played lights out in that particular matchup. But JDM, for me, again, he's back in this roster. We mentioned that. He was with them before, back in the netcode days, I believe it was for them, in like season 16 of ESL, almost a year and a half ago. And he's consistent for them, and he definitely is comfortable with them. So he fits in well personality-wise. Obviously, all living in the gaming house together, he gets along great. So it's good that this team has the camaraderie and friendship. So there's no issues there. But it's just, again, how aggressive does this game go with him? And he can't overreach like XP3 did.
Yeah, well, the good thing too is Tarek put up numbers. He was top fragging for his team, 14-8. We said that, you know,
that's appropriate because Tarek's 14 years old, so he got his age in kills.
Going back to that joke. Oh,
that joke's never leaving.
It's never dying. Yeah, but I mean, it's great to see him on top of that because that's the thing. You want like that's the more patient CLG that where they didn't take the first fight. They didn't take the first opportunities that were given to them. They worked their way around the map. They used the map control to find fights that they wanted to take, and that was really good to see. And you see them, they're laughing and joking up on the screen.
Making a cool high five.
Yep.
That's that's JDM and Tarek. But I agree. I mean, it's nice to see as well. And going the other way, coming back for eLevate, Nafly, who's, again, we talked about his numbers both in Liquid and Luminosity. Solid, but yet overlooked a lot of the times in terms of being able to stay in the roster. He gets dropped for Devil Walk, and now he gets over to eLevate and performing well again on another roster. I mean, when's this guy really going to get a home that's permanent and have the comfort? So good to see him putting up those same numbers. Hopefully eLevate can work out for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good up-and-coming player. He's been putting up great numbers throughout, you know, online and LAN seasons.
And he's got a really good secondary op as well. He's not a primary by any means, but if they go to a double op setup, Nafly can definitely do that.
Yeah, we saw it actually when they broke it out. That was good stuff from him. He got some good kills.
So that said, unfortunately, this morning went perfectly. Everything was too smooth, but it couldn't have been that easy, right? We're going to take a very, very short break just to swap out a PC, and we'll be right back in just a minute.